Most people look at this camera and they immediately underestimate it because it's tiny and honestly, it kind of looks like a toy. But I've been using it alongside my DJI Pocket 3 and my iPhone 17 Pro, two cameras that most vloggers would consider serious options. And the Go Ultra keeps doing things that neither of those two cameras can do. So today I want to show you exactly what those things are, because I think that most people buy this camera are only using about half of what it can actually do. So let's get started with some context. When it comes to travel vlogging in particular, I generally reach for an action camera, something like the DJI Osmo Action 6 or the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. They're small, they have great image quality, and they're ultra durable. So they really fit my go-to travel vlogging style, especially whenever I'm out and about with my kids, which is most of the time. So that's the baseline that I'm coming from, and it shapes how I look at cameras like these. Now, my main question going forward is whether something like the Go Ultra can fit a role that a traditional action camera does not. And honestly, I think there are 4 specific ways that it can. So let's start with the most obvious thing, but also the one that I think most vloggers out there underestimate. The Go Ultra standalone camera weighs just 53 grams, and that makes it by far the smallest camera option here. Even when it's mounted inside of the Action Pod, the total weight is 161 grams. Compare that to the DJI Pocket 3, which is 179 grams, or the iPhone 17 Pro at 206 grams. Now, you might not think that size and weight matter that much, but think about what you're actually doing when you're vlogging, or at least what I'm doing when I'm vlogging, which I'm usually trying to capture my life as it happens. And for me, that could mean being at the airport with my kids, going on hikes, or trying to eat a meal together. And in those busy scenarios, the camera that comes with me and actually gets used is the smallest and lightest one. There's also something practical worth mentioning here. The Insta standalone camera is waterproof up to 10 meters, and it's drop resistant. Pocket 3, on the other hand, it's not waterproof or drop resistant at all. And I've tested both of those things, and I have killed my Pocket 3 before, so don't do that. And while modern iPhones have some water resistance and they're less likely to shatter, I still worry about damaging them. So for active filming scenarios, I much prefer using a camera that I don't have to think twice about. I think it's genuinely an underrated quality of life difference for everyday vloggers, especially those with little ones or pets. You know, with a camera like this, I can let them be around it or even hold it and use it themselves and not have to worry about it being damaged. Another reason why I've been finding the Go Ultra to be great for vlogging is that it's designed to solve one of the biggest problems that I always run into whenever I'm filming. How do I capture what my eyes are seeing while keeping my hands free? Like when I want to cook or show you how to use a product, getting a true hands-free POV perspective is really hard with most cameras. With the Go Ultra, you can pop the camera out of the Action Pod and magnetically attach it to accessories like the magnet pendant or the hat clip, and it sits right at chest or head level, and the footage actually feels like you're watching through someone's eyes. As another bonus, when the camera is mounted that close to you, you can actually use the little built-in microphone here, like a lavalier mic. So you're also capturing really good audio at the same time. So this is an example of the infrastructure. Like, not far from that beach and by all these residential homes here, you've got streetcar and also bus. So you've got ways to get around. Now, to be honest, you can technically shoot POV with the Pocket 3 or your iPhone, but you need additional accessories, like a chest harness, extra mounts. All of those add to the overall weight and the bulk, and I've tried it. And I can tell you that trying to do POV with either of those cameras is just a really awkward filming experience. The Go Ultra is the only one of those 3 cameras where hands-free POV actually feels effortless, and therefore I do it a lot more often. But it's this next feature that I feel like doesn't get nearly enough attention. So the Go Ultra, it is a standalone camera, but you can also pop it into the Action Pod. And when it's in the Action Pod, it has this little flip-up display. So when you're holding it, you can flip the screen up and you can vlog, you can see yourself in a really big screen, but you can also maneuver the screen. So you can shoot at angles that you wouldn't normally attempt. For me, I primarily use it whenever I want to shoot really low, like down on the ground. Typically, I can't see what the camera is seeing, but if I flip the screen up, then I can. I don't have to guess about where the camera is filming. But it goes even further than that. Because the camera can detach from the action pod, you can actually mount the camera somewhere and then use the action pod and the display as a monitor as well as a remote control. And so I use this feature constantly when I was recently travel vlogging in Spain. There were many times when I wanted to capture a moment, like this one time when my son and I were enjoying lunch together, but I didn't want to make a big production out of filming it. So I just took the camera out, I mounted it to a metal stool nearby, and I checked the framing on the action pod and I used it to start and stop recording. And I could do all of that while I was sitting there in a cafe eating a chocolate croissant. I didn't have to worry about people, thinking, oh, what is she doing with that camera? I don't think anyone noticed that I even filmed that. Neither the Pocket 3 nor the iPhone can do either of those things cleanly. Like the iPhone does have the selfie screen, but when you use it, you're locked into specific focal lengths and settings. So like you don't get action mode, you don't get ultra wide lens, and you can't detach the display. Meanwhile, the Pocket 3, it does let you use your iPhone as an external monitor, but the setup takes time and ends up being pretty clunky. So neither of those is ideal when you're trying to quickly and spontaneously capture a moment. But back to the Go Ultra. The last feature that I've been using more than expected is the magnetic mounting system. As long as the surface is magnetic, you can take the little camera out of the pod and you can stick it to that surface instantly without using any extra mounts or accessories. And not only is the Go Ultra camera unit magnetic, but the action pod also has a magnetic mount down below too. So I can take any of the Insta360 Go Ultra mounts and instantly attach it and also detach it. So it's really nice and easy to use this whole camera by itself. And when it's in this form factor, the Go Ultra looks pretty identical to your standard action camera. All right, let's talk about image quality because I know that's probably what a lot of you are here for, and I want to be straight with you. So like the iPhone 17 Pro and the Pocket 3, the Go Ultra can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. But the Go Ultra has an ultra-wide field of view of 156 degrees. Compare that to 108 degrees with the Pocket 3 when you're using the wide-angle lens attachment, and 120 degrees for the iPhone 17 Pro. Now in practice, that wider field of view means that you can capture more of the scene, which is really great for travel, group shots, or immersive vlogging, where you want to put the viewer right in the moment. But when it does come to zoom, that's where the iPhone takes the win, because neither the Go Ultra nor the Pocket 3 are strong here. And here's where I want to be honest about where the Go Ultra does not excel. And for context, keep in mind that I'm referring to a camera that can detach and become a little 53-gram camera shooting 4K 60, which I think is genuinely impressive for the size. But if you want to get close-up shots and blurred out background bokeh, the Pocket 3 or the iPhone are traditionally better tools for that. Now with that said, Insta360 did just launch a micro lens kit specifically designed to address this problem with the Go Ultra. So I just got my hands on the Insta360 GO Ultra new micro lens kit. And so it actually comes with 4 lenses, and I thought I'd give you a quick run through. So the first thing I like is that these lenses just go on top of the existing ones. You don't have to take off this filter. You just pop them on top. You do have to do a firmware update on the Go Ultra before you start using them. And the reason is, once you do that, you swipe down and then to the left, and you go over to Accessories over in the menu. And then under Other Accessories, it says Lens Master. And so that's when you need to go in and you need to select which lens you have attached. So a bit of a manual process. You do have to be very conscious of which lens you attach and make sure that it matches the settings. But once it's on, let's go ahead and see some sample footage to see how good these are. So this is the first micro lens we have attached. I have to be roughly 4.6 inches away. And from what I can tell, there's no focus peaking, so it's a little hard for me to know exactly how far 4.5 inches is. But using this measure here, should be about where my thumb is. So that should be pretty much in focus. I'll go ahead and give you another object here. So how does that look? All right, next up we have the 8.5-inch lens attached. So that's roughly, the length of a piece of paper. So again, where the measure is, where my thumb is. So this is probably good for vlogging. So if I'm holding the camera away, maybe like half an arm's length away, this should work out pretty well. Okay, now we have our 15-inch lens attached. This is probably going to be the one that lets us get furthest away. So best for vlogging. Yeah, I'm about 15 inches away right now. So yeah, how does this look? All right, and this is our macro lens here. So we want to be about 2 inches away, which is really not that far away. So right where my thumb is. And apologies, I know my hands are kind of grimy looking, so I'll give you something nicer to look at. So there, yeah, that's pretty crisp. And so when you have something this close, then obviously anything behind it is going to be pretty blurred out. Also, one more thing worth calling out for the Pocket 3 is that because it's a gimbal camera, it can do subject tracking automatically, so it could follow you around like a cameraman, and it can also do motion time lapses, where the gimbal physically moves during the time lapse for a really polished and dynamic shot. Those are features that the iPhone and the Go Ultra simply don't have. And if that kind of content matters to you, then the Pocket 3 might still be worth having in your kit, or having a gimbal for your other cameras. Coming back to my original question, can the Go Ultra fill a role that a traditional action camera can't? The answer is yes, actually. The action cameras are built for performance. They have great image quality, they're tough and they're versatile, but they still require me to actively hold them or mount them on a rig, especially if I want to get a hands-free POV perspective. The Go Ultra is the camera that can almost disappear. You take it out of the action pod, and now it does not look anything like a traditional action camera. You can clip it to yourself, you can clip it to a magnetic post, anywhere, and you just forget that it's there. That hands-free, always-on, inconspicuous quality is something that my Action 6 and my Ace Pro 2 just can't replicate. And for my messy, spontaneous, real-life moments that make the best vlogging content, that portability really matters. So honestly, if you already own a Pocket 3 or an action camera, the Go Ultra isn't exactly replacing it. It's just filling in the gaps where these kind of cameras can't fill. So if you're interested and you haven't tried it yet, the Go Ultra Creator Bundle is $500, and it includes everything you need to get started, including the camera, mounts, and accessories. And let me know in the comments what you think. I've talked at length about how I love action cameras for vlogging, and I still do. But on my recent trip to Spain, I brought not only my vlogging camera, traditional vlogging camera, I also brought the Go Ultra and the Pocket 3. And after using all three cameras, there's still not a perfect vlogging camera out there. They all work really well together. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. What is your go-to vlogging camera? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.